Please. He begged. His face streaked with tears. Just give me another chance. I was lost. I watched him from the doorway of my new home. You weren't lost, I said calmly, remembering him swearing on our kids' lives. You were with her. While I was fighting cancer. Goodbye. I'm new to posting here. So bear with me. My husband 41M and I 40F have been married for 12 years. Together since 2009. We have kids. A house. The whole package. At least on paper. He's always been a good provider. The bills are paid. The kids have what they need. And he's a responsible, present father. In every practical sense. He's a good man. But our home has been emotionally empty for a long time. 4 years. I tried to talk to him. I'd try to explain that I felt disconnected. Or lonely. Or just overwhelmed. It was like speaking a language he refused to understand. I'd sit on the edge of the bed after the kids were asleep and say something like, "Hey, can we talk? I've been feeling really down lately." He wouldn't even look up from his phone. It'd just get a heavy sigh and a, "What is there to complain about now? Or you're always so negative." After a while, you just stop trying. The arguments were more exhausting than the silence. So I chose the silence. I learned to swallow my feelings and cry quietly at night. After he was already asleep. It all came to a head a few months before my diagnosis. I was just so done. I found him on the couch one evening. Scrolling through his phone as usual. The TV was on but neither of us was watching it. I stood there for a minute. Just watching him. And I decided to say it out loud. "I just want you to know," I said, my voice flat, "that if I seem cold one day, if it feels like I've just given up, don't ever act surprised. Don't ever say you regret it." My brain was screaming. Look up. Look at me. See that I'm drowning right in front of you. But he didn't. His thumb just kept moving over the glass screen. Without missing a beat. He said, "Divorce then." It wasn't angry. It wasn't a threat. It was like he was ordering a pizza. In that moment, my mind didn't register sadness. Just a cold, hard clarity. This wasn't something to be fixed. For him, there was nothing broken. Then I got the cancer diagnosis. Staring your own mortality in the face has a way of erasing all the bullshit. There was no more room for silence. I sat him down and laid it all out. I cried. I told him, honestly, that the love I used to feel was gone. Buried under years of being dismissed. I didn't blame him. I just stated it as a fact. I asked him, "Is there anything here you want to work on? Is there anything left to save?" I was giving him the perfect opportunity to step up. To fight for us. He just sat there. Perfectly calm. And said he'd respect my feelings. Even if that meant a divorce. He was so reasonable. It was the most polite, soul-crushing acceptance of failure I could have ever imagined. I was asking for a lifeline. And he was calmly agreeing to let me go. A few weeks after that let's just divorce conversation. I found out. It was a coworker of his. I wish I could say there was a dramatic discovery. But it was just the usual. Boring story. A message on a screen that wasn't closed fast enough. My whole world just tilted on its axis. My first thought wasn't even anger. It was just a quiet, hollow, "Oh, so that's it." I decided to confront him that night. I was calm. I simply asked him if there was something going on with him and this person from work. He looked me dead in the eye and denied it. And I don't mean a simple no. It was a performance. He swore on our children. He swore on our marriage. He said he was disgusted that I would even think he was capable of doing something like that. Especially now. With everything I was going through. For a split second. His conviction was so absolute that I almost believed him. My mind raced. Am I wrong? Did I misread it? Am I letting the stress and the treatment make me paranoid? I almost apologized. But I had the evidence. The next day. I waited for him to get home. I didn't say a word. I just unlocked my phone. Pulled up the proof. And placed it on the kitchen counter in front of him. He looked at the screen. Then at me. The whole house was silent. I could hear the hum of the refrigerator. He didn't try to deny it again. There was no way to. Then he opened his mouth. And what came out was worse than the lie. "It's because you've been so cold," he said. His voice quiet but firm. "You asked me to sleep in the other room. You're always in a mood when I get home." He leaned against the counter. As if he were the one who had been wronged. My brain struggled to process the logic. I was watching him, in real time, build a case against me. He was admitting to the affair. Yes. But he was framing it as an inevitable consequence of my actions. As if it were a law of physics. You were moody. Therefore I cheated. I just stood there, speechless. I had asked him to sleep in the guest room on the nights after my chemo treatments, because I was constantly sick and getting zero sleep. I didn't want to keep him up all night. I thought it was a practical, considerate solution. But he had logged it as rejection. My exhaustion from working full-time while my body was being poisoned by chemotherapy. He had logged that as me being moody. He took every symptom of my private hell, every consequence of his own emotional neglect, and presented them to me as the reasons for his betrayal. I went looking for an apology, for some shred of remorse. Instead, I was handed a list of my own failings. The thing is, he wasn't entirely wrong. I was cold. I was distant. But he has no idea why. He sees moody. But what he's actually seeing is a woman who gets up at 6 a.m. to get the kids ready for school, teaches a full class of 30 students all day, then comes home to start her second shift. I make dinner. I help with homework. I handle the laundry. I clean up the kitchen. And only then, around 10 p.m., when the house is finally quiet, can I start my own schoolwork, lesson planning for the next day, or grading a mountain of essays. All of this while my body feels like it's been run over by a truck from the cancer treatments. I wasn't moody. I was surviving. I was trying to hold everything together for everyone. And I was completely, utterly worn out. Now, we're living in this bizarre limbo. I told him that while I forgive him. Because I have to for my own sanity. I can't just go back to being his wife. The intimacy. The closeness. It's gone. He nodded and said he understood. But his actions say something else. He tries to act like nothing has changed. This morning, as he was leaving for work, he leaned in to kiss me like he has 1,000 times before. I instinctively turned my head so it landed on my cheek. He just paused for a second, then straightened up and left without a word. There was no fight, no discussion. He just walks around it. I realized in that moment that he's not trying to fix what's broken. He's just waiting for me to get over it and put it back on the shelf. This is where I'm stuck. He's not a terrible man. I know that sounds crazy to say, but he's a good father. And my kids adore him. The thought of breaking apart their world, of them having to shuttle between two homes because of a mess that I feel I've been trying to prevent for years. It's horrifying. I'm scared of what divorce will mean for them. I'm scared of being alone. But I'm also scared of what staying means. It means accepting that I am married to someone who saw me at my absolute lowest, fighting for my life, and decided I wasn't worth his loyalty. It means accepting that my exhaustion is a valid excuse for betrayal. It means teaching my boys that this is what a marriage looks like. A woman silently carrying everything until she breaks. And a man who blames her for the pieces. I've forgiven so much over the years. But this feels different. This feels like it carved something out of me. So, I guess I'm asking you, Reddit, for some honest advice. Am I overreacting to this? Is a relationship that's been hollow for years, and now shattered by this, something that can even be saved? Or is it finally okay to admit that this is the final straw?